Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Live Before Lock. And much like the U.S. foreign strategy and policies, we are open to the public today. If you haven't checked out that story, just incredible fumble of a group text. Love a little casual espionage. I honestly, just straight out of the TV show Veep. And honestly, it might have been two on the nose for Veep. But anyways, we're back with Live Before Lock. I just finished reading that article on The Atlantic, so I'm sorry. It's like I'm pilled right now. We got a fun one. I got to tell you guys, Sorare NBA, the NBA fantasy basketball is disgusting right now. I'm playing 18 minutes for the 76ers tonight, but apparently Anthony Davis is playing basketball tonight. Can't wait for 20 minutes and 4 fouls and a tweaked hammy, baby. Welcome back to AD. We got a good one. If it's your first time joining, do me a favor, like the stream and subscribe to the channel. We will have a giveaway here in just a second. But more importantly, the real gift of today, our guy George St. Ledger making his return. George, how are you doing?
All good. I mean, the news, I'm actually surprised Underdog didn't tweet out saying that, like, you know, I was upgraded from doubtful to questionable, then available to play in the stream. So, yeah, I mean, AD's back. I'm actually just drafting up a tweet right now. So it's going to be AD's back, but I'm back on Live Before Lock. So,
there we go.
Yeah, we're going to go around that realm.
Nice.
But no, I'm pumped. Let's go into it. I completely agree, by the way. The whole NBA at the minute is just rank in terms of fantasy sports, betting on it. So rare stuff, you know, you just can't guess anything that's going to happen. And we've got Franz Wagner being the best player of the week. So, you know, it's just what it is.
It is crazy. I mean, Wiggins dropped like a 65 bomb over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's just been Jokic hasn't played since 2018. It's been tough stuff. It has been tough sledding. First, let me just set up the giveaway here in the honor of this gross slate. We will like the stream, subscribe to the channel, put hashtag gross into the chat for your shot at a rare tier card giveaway that we will do at the end of the show. We'll also do members only rare tier giveaway as we get after we do this one in about an hour and 10 or so. And shout out again our guy Roto Run, who on Friday, I think it was Friday, donated 20 memberships, which was huge. So a lot of new members out there today because of it. But what we'll do, we're going to go game by game. We'll break down some of the injury stuff. Then we will take a look at some of the projections, and then we'll get into some of your questions. So hang on to your questions here for a little bit. Before we start diving in, George, how have you been doing so rare wise? Have we been cooking up any rewards lately?
Had a little tier 4, tier 2 winner and rare last week.
Nice.
Not too bad stuff, but just kind of just waiting patiently for some sort of newness is the only way really I can describe it for the NBA stuff. You know the meme of like SpongeBob and Patrick where they just watch it, they're having fun, and then you can see above. It's like so rare football, so rare baseball even being announced, and just kind of like, where are we at with the playoffs? Is basically what.
Do you know what's happening? And this is going to come across way more slanderous than I mean it. So rare employees, if you're listening, I don't mean this in a slanderous way. I just think but right now, between MLB and NBA, they are like someone with no arms juggling. And I think they're just trying to do so. My guess is with MLB opening day this week, we're going to see some NBA playoff stuff next week. Would be my guess. That's just straight speculation. That's not
That's not
breaching
insider
an
information. No.
Yeah, I'm not on the Signal. I'm not on the Signal app talking about when Sorare is going to strike next. But that would be my guess. Anyways, that would be my guess. But anyways, yeah, I had like a 4-tier box and a 3-tier, something like that. This past game week, again, but no Jokic kind of blew up most of my stuff here. And we're going to have the same decision again, because Michael Malone alluding that we're probably going to see Jokic this week. It's just when are we going to do it? Andrew said, "Hi, Mike. Can you build a common lineup using all player, please?" What do you mean all player? Can you build a common lineup using all players? What do you mean there, Andrew? Explain yourself. All right, let's go. Let's dive in here. So first game, we're just going to do game by game tonight, by the way, just because we have the most information for that. And then we'll go on. So the Pacers are at home. They're taking on the Timberwolves. One of a rare, good competitive basketball game. They're 1.5-point favorites. The only real injury stuff on the Indiana side of things is Isaiah Jackson is out and Mathurin is questionable. Mathurin being out, I guess that would give like Nembhard a little, maybe you see more Shepherd minutes. I don't think that moves the needle too much for me anywhere. And then Timberwolves on their side of things, you got Anthony Edwards has a Q tag, but with this being a 1.5-point spread, my guess is Ant-Man is going tonight. I don't know. You excited about anything in here?
So I think the actual game that I'm really genuinely now, I was excited about Mavs Nets before. I'm a bit of a sicko when it comes to these NBA games,
That is
as
gross,
you'll probably
man.
know from being a Jordan Poole fan. But I was excited for the Mavs Nets game, and now that AD's back, it will be actually quite interesting to see. Also, like where his line is set out is primarily where I want to know. I want to see where they think he's going to play and like if he's just going to get 20 minutes or whatever it is. But now that'll be a fun one. And then I think sort of Chicago-Denver is going to be an absolute shootout is where it's going to be there. And then obviously we've got to cut the stream short because me and you are going to go lace up and play for the Sixers against
the Pelicans.
So,
That's right.
We'll be good for that.
I will say, like, the Anthony Davis, I could be of two minds here. I could see a world in which they were like, that he's only going to play 20 minutes, whatever, because it's his first game back. I could also see, like, they did send him to the G League. He did play down there a little bit. And I could see them being like, listen, we're not going to bring him back if he's not 100% ready, you know?
Did he play in the G League or was he just training?
He might have just been training. I don't know if he actually got some run in the games. Probably not. I feel like we would have seen some highlights if he did.
Yeah.
But I could see a world in which they were like, we're not going to rush him back if he's not ready. Like, there's no reason for them. So maybe he is like a full good to go. I don't know. It'll be curious to see like if the common person is playing Anthony Davis, because if you do think he's good to go, but everyone else is scared to play him, that would be like a fun little leverage spot. His former team, the Lakers, are on the road against the Magic here. Lakers have just a Rui questionable tag. Looks like they got LeBron back again. Everybody else good to go on the Magic side of stuff. It's just Cole Anthony with the forever Q tag. I mean, I don't think there's anything to take. The only thing I would say is Austin Reeves is his cap is probably a little propped up here for the time without LeBron, the time without Luka. So he might be a little unplayable now with everybody back until his cap comes back down. And then Orlando's just a dumpster fire. But I guess, I don't know. Are you going back to the return of Franz?
I think a cap on a so rare sense, I think a cap at 32 is just too low. Like, I think you kind of have to buy some stonks right there in France. Yeah. And you have to have him in at least one priority lineup is what I'd say.
Yeah, we'll see that in a little bit, but we have a couple of those guys where their cap has come all the way down and they just really are smash plays. Raptors and Wizards, gross. Wizards are 1.5-point favorites. Here's the thing with the Wiz, man. They're not playing any of their good guys enough minutes for this to matter.
But neither are the Raptors. The Raptors are just benching their guys in the fourth, so they're just like, yeah, 3 quarters, do your best.
It's crazy, man. The only, like, Vukcevic, Keyshawn George, and Alex Sarr, probably the only places I'm going on the Washington side of things. They at least seem to play regular minutes. And then the Raptors, they're still without Grady Dick. I thought I saw something that, although I just got logged out of what I was looking at, I thought I saw something that RJ was ruled out. No?
Yeah, he's
He
ruled
is.
out
Okay.
for a rest.
A rest. He needs a little
Yeah,
nappy nap.
he needs a rest.
No Boucher either. Someone named Ulrich Chomchi's also been ruled out. I mean, I guess like Scotty has a little bit of a safer. Like I like when one of those guys just straight up sits, because in like 30 minutes, I do think Barnes can get there. IQ can get there. It's frustrating because they're not going to play crunch time in a close game. But if they're going to play 28 to 32 minutes, their caps come down enough. I think you can do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. The thing is like their caps are still in like that mid-30 space, I think, for both Quickly and Barnes. So they're just not. I just don't trust them to get the minutes that they deserve to warrant it. So I just think they're pretty much unplayable, unfortunately. So
yeah. We got Mavs and Nets. I know that was the game that you were most excited about. So for the Mavs, they're still without Kyrie. They're without Caleb Martin, Derek Lively, Dante Exum, Gafford, and Olivier Maxence Prosper. Brandon Williams, they got back, and then I mentioned AD. Honestly, I feel like this is a pretty big hit to like the Najee Marshalls of the world, even the PJ Washingtons. Kai Jones. I know a lot of people were excited to play Kai Jones. His cap is low enough. I think he still can do it. I guess if we put AD at like 26 to 28 minutes, I'm assuming Kai Jones still plays backup minutes, but that kind of throws a wrench into some of that Maverick stuff, right?
yeah, I think PJ Washington was the sort of the main guy this week for the Mavs, just because also they got the extra game. But I still would play. I still would play him. AD's not playing 3 of these. He'll play 1, maybe 2.
Right.
Probably 2, actually. He just won't play in the middle game, is what I assume they're going to do here. But PJ at 35 cap, he's getting sort of 38 minutes a night still. So there's no reason why he couldn't go off for, a 25, 28 point double quite comfortably. So
yeah, and
I'd still run there.
Yeah, and I don't think I guess it lowers his ceiling maybe a little bit, but I don't think it like crushes PJ's value with 8. If anything, maybe it makes things easier for PJ a little bit. So I think you can do it. And yeah, Alan, as George was talking about, I do think you're right. Like I was saying, that limits Kai Jones' ceiling tonight, but you're right. AD's not going to play both of these games. Okay.
I see the projections for it projections haven't really updated yet for the AD stuff.
Yeah.
But that would make me. I would almost think like the sleeper pick could be a little Max Christie play is where I could almost go there with that AD back. I just remember Max Christie playing quite well with him. I think he's on like a low 20 cap.
Yeah.
There's going to be guys that you need to take a bet on that people aren't. He's one of them I'd probably go for.
No, I like that call. Brooklyn's in a weird spot because they're without both Cam Thomas and D'Angelo Russell. So I don't even know who they're guard. Keon Johnson, I guess. Tyrese Martin, maybe Jalen Wilson, a little bit more run. But man, hard to. Brooklyn's similar to like Toronto and Washington, where it's kind of hard to know where their minutes are going to land.
Yeah, is Cam Johnson out? I assume as well.
No, Cam Johnson's actually playing tonight.
He's playing. Okay, right.
Yeah. Let's go to 76ers and Pelicans. Here are the guys that are out. Kelly Oubre's out, Quentin Grimes is out, Lonnie Walker's out, Embiid's out, Drummond's out, Maxi's out, Lowry's out, Paul George is out, McCain is out, Eric Gordon is out. They also have Brissett questionable. Bona, looks like Bona's coming back. He's probable. I thought he was going to miss too. So it's just going to be a lot of Justin Edwards, maybe some Jeff Downton, some Butler, some Chuma Okeke, some Yabusele. What's your favorite dumpster diving play over there?
It's probably the Justin Edwards of the world. So I think is where we're going to land on it. But even then, like we're talking Justin Edwards, I think he's got a cap of 20 now. So I can still see the world in because this happens every time where there's these random guys. And don't get me wrong, it could be like a Malachi Flynn of last year where they just explode and get like 70 points. But there is a world in where they start really badly because shock of all shocks, guys, these aren't amazing players in the NBA.
Know.
And then they just don't see time on the court.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Does Justin Edwards... Hold on, let me check right now. Does he have a card?
I
don't think he has a card. I think we only have Anthony Edwards and wait, hold on.
Justin Edwards doesn't have a card.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
They're juggling with their shoulders right now. We got Fury Sin in the chat. Love to see it. All right, let's keep going. so we can actually get to the projection. So I was just listing all of the 76ers that are out. Let's do the Pelicans now. No Bruce Brown, no Brandon Boston Jr., no Zion, no Herb Jones, no CJ, no Trey, no DeJounte, Eves Missy, even a Q tag. We're going to get a lot of minutes of Alvarado, a lot of minutes of Kelly Olynyk, maybe the return of Jordan Hawkins, some Carlo Matkovic, who I like a lot more if Eves Missy isn't playing. Is there any direction there that you're heading for the Pellies?
Well, as a man that has got a full collection of the Pelicans in-season cards, don't ask me why I've done that. I'm hoping that there is going to be someone in there that I can use that's at a really low cap. But as I'm looking at it, it's 14 deep, and I'm pretty confident 11 of them are all out. And this also includes like a Brandon Ingram that just isn't there anymore and won't play basketball again. So there is genuinely, apart from Jordan Hawkins, who is another man that could get 4 or 40 points in one night, there is no one that I would trust from the Pelicans, because I think
he's going to take a ton of shots tonight, man.
He will take a ton of shots, but like even then, Alvarado's they're all at like 20 caps, so they're not like you're getting them at 3, so you can just kind of free play them. They're not like that realm. So I'll probably throw him in some lineups, but Earl Robinson, that's a very good shout.
Especially if Missy misses, I think he'd be a great shout there. Wait, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at a different thing. All right, Chicago and Denver. You get Denver 4.5-point favorites on the Chicago side of things. No Lonzo, no Trey Jones, no Ayo Dosunmu, which means it's giddy up time. It's Kobe White time. It's Kevin Squirt. We're seeing some Buzelis on Denver. We're without Jokic again, and no Julian Strother. We also have a Q tag on Aaron Gordon. I think Aaron Gordon's like a pretty solid play if he goes against a Chicago team. But this is the Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook show. You going out of your way to fire up any Bulls or any Nuggets? I know it's tough because the Bulls caps have come up.
Yeah, I think Russell Westbrook will definitely be in a couple of my majority lineups. Even though he's at 35, there is a genuine scope that he can go for that sort of high 40 sort of realm when he gets this sort of usage for it. And Aaron Gordon as well. But the thing that scares me about him is that he's at a 30 cap. So even though he gets that obscene usage rate for it, it's still, you're not getting him at that sort of low 20 mark that you would want to. The question I have is, I mean, like, I remember the good old times of last year where you'd walk into these weeks and you just go, yes, this is time for DeAndre Jordan and Reggie Jackson. Is it time for another little throwback of DeAndre Jordan? He played 38 minutes the other night. Is he gonna pop that up again, or whatever it was, 39 minutes, something crazy like that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's gonna, especially if no Aaron Gordon, man. If there's no Aaron Gordon tonight, he's gonna play 100. What's his cap? We gonna look up. Is it DJ?
His cap is 10. Yeah.
Oh, fire it up, dude. Forget Zeke Naji. It's DeAndre time.
Again, I got a full in-season Nuggets collection. Sod the Jokic. Give me DeAndre Jordan with the aliens throwing the jet beam on the planet. That's who I want in my lineups.
You want some fucking big brain right now? DeAndre Jordan and Nikola Jokic in the same lineup.
Oh wow, there we go.
Alan's saying it's Zeke Naji night. If that is the case, shout out to, I think it was Rio SR, who won the giveaway last week or on Friday. That ended up being a Zeke Naji rare card. So you never know. Buck side of stuff. Dame, since leaking the meeting to Chris Haynes, hasn't played basketball. He's out again tonight. Jericho Sims is out. That's George's favorite guy. Bobby Portis is out. You got Giannis and Gary Trent Jr. probable tags. This is like an elite matchup against the Suns. The Suns suck at defense, but they also need to win. So it's going to be a high-scoring affair. And on the Suns side of stuff, just no Bradley Beal. And with the Jokic Q tag, is Giannis like the MVP of the game week for you?
That's a tough one, because like I'm still not sold on Giannis since All-Star break. It's been weird when they had that like weird minutes projection. I know they kind of got over it now.
Yeah.
But even then when I've watched him, he just hasn't been that sort of, I don't know, he's not been Giannis. He's not been, there was a game that I watched him in, and he was sort of, every time he was like, oh, he's going to drive. He was like, nah, let me just hand the ball off to Taurine Prince to take the shot. So I would personally still think that Luka this week is going to be the best play, just because he's got 3 games as well. So Luka's still going to be the guy for me, but I can't hate anyone with Giannis.
It's weird because Giannis is like guaranteed 52 fantasy points. We just haven't seen 70 in a while. I know he had like a 32 and 20 game recently, but we just haven't seen that like 4 stock game plus 32, 16 and 6 or something. We haven't seen it. The Bucks offense in general has just been a freaking slog. On the Sun side of things, I mean, I don't know. Like, was it our boy Colin Gillespie? Is he our king now? He's like the 5th highest projected guy on the Suns at this point with no Bradley Beal. It seems to have usurped the Tyus Jones minutes. Or is it just KD? It's Booker and then maybe some Nick Richards if you need to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, Tyus Jones at 22 is somewhat appealing because there is I still think there's a player in there. It's just the Suns is an absolute mess of an organization for it. So there's a realm in which he can go for the sort of mid to high 30s, but yeah, it's probably going to be the Colin Gillespie stuff. KD at 39 is low enough that you can play him with another sort of, you put him with your MVP and he can be your next guy. And KD kind of looked a little bit more on it the last couple of games as well. So especially against Cleveland, he was great. So
and they need him. I mean, they need him. Every game is so important. Now Dallas is saying we're not waving the white flag. They're bringing back Anthony Davis and the Portland freaking Trailblazers hanging around there in the playoff race. So, yeah, I like the KD books. Book's been weird, man, but KD I'm still getting to. And then the last game of tonight, which I think is actually pretty intriguing here, the total is like weirdly low. Like I was kind of surprised to see this be 224.5 because I don't really know the Kings as like a defensive juggernaut here. This also being 4.5-point favorites. I know the Celtics are on back-to-backs. They have Jaylen Brown questionable and Sam Hauser questionable. I wonder if this is a Hauser rest day after he hit 45 threes yesterday. This also tells me I think Jaylen Brown sits one more time. I actually thought JB might be back and Tatum would be out. But Porzingis has been ruled in. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this tells me JB is out. Drew Holiday makes his return too. On the Kings side of stuff, I think we still have a Sabonis Q tag. We also have a Malik Monk Q tag. I don't know. Do you have any lean on any of these Kings?
No, I think the Kings have just been really weird recently for it as well. I think a lot of their guys have got caps that don't offer that much juice, and I'm not trusting Malik Monk for it. I don't care what the projections say. I can't play Malik Monk for serious lineup. So you can put him in a random one, but that's probably about the limitation of where I'd go.
I will say, if JB is out, you could talk, and I know Tatum's on a back-to-back. You could talk me into Tatum as an MVP for the week. I could get there for that because I do think this is a pretty good matchup. All right, here we go. Let's remind the people about the giveaway here because we only have 46 entrants and we have a lot more of you than that watching. Like the stream, subscribe, put hashtag gross into the chat. And then we'll the next thing I'm going to do real quick is just get into some of these projections. Then I got to build some lineups here in a little bit, but let's do the projections first. And then what we can do. Oh, the other thing I need to shout out here. I'm going to drop a link into the chat right now. We're doing another contest over on Splash Sports, a little $5 3-entry max and a 6-tier thing. I just dropped a link into the chat. We upped it so we can get up to 100 entrants into this contest. Right now we're at 43. I think our record high is like 60. So let's break 60 tonight, bitches. Let's do it. All right, now let's get over to the projections, what people have actually been waiting for. We'll do it by value first. Then we'll do 20 and under, 10 and under, and then top MVPs here. So as we get started, just value in general. Shout out our guy, Billy Jackson, over at Top Tier Projections. You mentioned it. This is a German, Franz Wagner, right there. Justin, he's going to cap at 32, the projection of 50. Justin Edwards, who doesn't have a card, cap at 20, the projection of 37. Chumo Kiki, we mentioned, former Magic legend, has a cap of 8 with a projection of 26. That's going to be your best value. Miles McBride and Jalen Brunson have been missing time, so somebody like Campaign gets a boost. I will say PJ has a cap at 35 with a projection of 51. That's probably coming down a little bit with AD's return, but I still think it's a great play with 3 games this game week. I will be playing him. I don't know who Keon Brooks Jr. is for the Pelicans. Do you?
No.
You know what? I'm telling you, the Pelicans roster is starting to look like New Orleans Saints wide receivers. It's like Keon Brooks Jr., Antonio Reeves, Jamal Cain. That's like their 1, 2, and 3 wideouts. There we go. We got Kai Jones. He was mentioned. Let's actually just do Sorry, I'm like talking a lot here. I'm just trying to get through this part. 20 and under. Let's do that quickly. I mentioned Edwards, Okeke, Payne. Here's DeAndre Jordan. That's Georgia's lock for tonight. There's the New Orleans Saints guys, Keon Brooks Jr. and Jamal Cain. Jordan Hawkins, another Pelly, cap of 17, the projection of 30. Mogbo, who, listen, I love Jonathan Mogbo, except he's like too good for the Raptors, so he might get benched too. And then you got Vucevic, who's coming off like a pretty impressive performance. I don't know. Is there like, what are your favorite targets this game week as you're like getting cooking?
I do like the DeAndre Jordan play. I know he's only got one game, so it's the riskier stuff. But you've got that guaranteed sense that Jokic is out. So I know it's on a back-to-back, but I mean he's played 4 minutes on average all season, so I think he can muster up some more minutes. And hey, I mean he's just sitting under the paint, realistically speaking. I do also like PJ Washington. I think PJ Washington is a pretty smash play. I've got a feeling that this is going to be one of those weeks where Pascal Siakam just has one of those like 50-point, like so rare score games. I think his cap's low enough as well in like the mid 30s where you can sort of squeeze him in a lineup with someone else. And then apart from that, I know we spoke about KD being at a 39. Karl Anthony Towns is still under 40, so you can get away with him being that second guy alongside sort of your MVP. That if you're going to go for a Luka or a Giannis or someone like that, and we've seen what Cat can do this season, so he can go for a 30 point, 15 rebound game with a couple of blocks in there, a few threes. So
what's crazy about that is his cap is like low, but they've also been without Brunson for a while now.
Yeah,
like we just, and I agree with you. I think that's like a great second play. We saw it with Cade Cunningham this past game weekend. Of somebody like an MVP style guy with the cap that's in the 40s, low 40s. But I'm just kind of surprised we haven't seen a higher ceiling from Cat lately. Their offense has been weird.
Yeah, I'd love to say another one as well. Like if that sort of, it's a bit, their games don't really translate when you watch them, but similar to how you can score on so rare would be Miles Turner. But Miles Turner is the definition of like the someone that always projects really well and then never performs on that sense. But he's got 3 games. He's got 3 games, and it's a 33 cap. So it's sort of like that's another guy that you could maybe put in like as one of the 2 nice spots that you have in a contender lineup, for example. So, but for 3, I think players when they've got 3 games in a game where a lot of people have 1 and 2, it's always worth taking the risk on them.
I'm also gonna do this here at I'm gonna just like go 35 and under just to find some like mid-range guys. We talked about PJ. Listen, if Sabonis goes, it sounds like even if Sabonis doesn't go tonight, he's gonna go in the next 2 games. The fact that he's a Q tag is a good sign. And his cap is all the way down to 35. And I'm uncomfortable with a lot of the Kings, but he is a fantasy point per minute god. And even if he comes back and only plays 30 minutes with a cap of 35, he's going to do some damage. Alexander Sarr as well has been playing great. He's been shooting the 3 ball well. He's like only one of the Wizards you can trust right now. But yeah, wait, hold on. Is that sorted by projection? Oh, there we go. Sorry. PJ Franz, Sabonis. Josh Hart, another one. His caps come way down. You mentioned Miles Turner, which I totally agree with you, man. It's like 3 games. I'm going to let it rip, but it feels gross. Triple J, the Grizzlies have been like in a free fall. It sounds like Ja Morant might be back here soon, but tough stuff. Somebody was just asking about Jaren Jackson Jr. in the chat right now. Cap at 33 with a projection of 42. Maybe Andrew Wiggins in 2 games puts up 70 again or whatever the hell it was. Crazy. All right. Before we get into questions, I'm going to do like a quick dry run here of my lineup builder. Just so we can like talk through that a little bit. You're still all in with PJ, right?
Yeah, I think I've got 1 PJ Washington. I'm not going to go and buy cards for him this week, but
right.
I do like PJ Washington, yeah.
All right. So the next question, so I'm going to put PJ in, and then Giannis is going to be my. Well, this is what I was going to. You would take Giannis here with 2 games versus Jokic with 1, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll throw Giannis in there, and that leaves us with 28 the rest of the way. Now, are you typically trying to build like middle of the pack here? Are you trying to just like live in this 30s range, or are you hoping to find somebody in the low 20s, maybe even the teens to round out a lineup?
I mean, I've had a couple of wins so I've been testing it on the limited sense on the in-season stuff. And the way I've been winning recently is literally going for like the Okekes of the world. and having
Interesting.
one of
Okay.
those really, really low cap guys that can go on and then enable you to get some of those like 3 extra mid-30 guys around him. Because I think if you can get like the Kai Joneses when he had that 35-point game when he was like at a 4 cap, it just enables you to go slightly different to the quote unquote meta that is available of picking the 5 guys that all are in around that 20-30 mark.
I think the best example I have of that right now is Tristan Vucevic, who capped of 18 with 3 games. He fills it up pretty quickly, so I'm comfortable with that in there next. You mentioned KD. I would like to get to KD. Let me see if I have somebody in the 20s. Like Jeremy Sohan has been pretty valuable lately for the Spurs team. His cap's pretty low. You got Kyle Kuzma down here, but Kuzma looks awful, huh?
Yeah, it's just classic Kyle Kuzma, though, really, isn't it? It's sort of when he's the second guy, it's not great. When he's the third, maybe. But, with Dame out, it's just one of them things. I mean, we've been playing this now for sort of this is the 3rd year we've been doing it. We know that when it comes to this part of the season, and granted, we're at the start of silly season. We're not right at the end of it where we are talking about the Malachi Flynns of the world and we get those sort of questions. But we know that at this point of the season, there are going to be guys that are on dumpster L10s that right now probably are inactive and then will get given a 10-day contract and be the best must-own card in the game. Yep. So there are going to. This is the start of So Rare. That is also that point. You just can't predict it, realistically speaking. There are going to be people out there where you'll have them in your gallery that are absolutely inactive and never even a doubt, and they'll get brought back and suddenly be. I'll tell you what, if Markel Fultz comes back, and I know he signed to the Kings again, but if he comes back and he's the top projected play, I wouldn't sit there and be surprised. I really wouldn't.
I know it is. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. I think, what do we think about Shaedon Sharpe this week? Let me look at these projections. They only have 2 games. I'm trying to see. He's got a cap at 28 and a projection at 31. That's not the best. If you guys can't see this, but if I go over to my lineup builder over on Top Tier, right now it rolls out. Wow, it gives me Dinwiddie. It gives me Giannis, Sohan, Dinwiddie, Turner, and PJ. I don't really want to play Dinwiddie, I don't think. I know he's been playing great, but that makes me a little bit nervous, no?
Understandable. Deuce McBride just got ruled out officially, so that's campaign season, right?
Campaign.
Yeah.
So if we roll in Miles Turner, that does leave us with 34 for that last spot. Man, we can't. Hartenstein, Tyree Eason. I mean, Tyree Eason's nice, but he hasn't been. I don't know. I don't love my options here. I kind of want to. What if I. Okay, this is not showing it here. Don't worry, guys. Too, I'll get into questions here in a little bit. Oh, his cap is 62. That's not going to do it. I was hoping his cap was a little bit lower. Can't do it. I don't love my options. What about 52? That's not going to do it either. Giddey would be a great play if his cap wasn't so freaking high. What about Keldon Johnson? I don't know. I don't like my lineups. It's Kendrick.
I don't think a lot of people are going to like their lineups this week.
Yeah, that is true. Let's see. Let me double check this 20 range again. I mean, maybe we just go to Klingon. I don't mind Klingon. Kel'el Ware against Atlanta might be nice. Andrew Nembhard with 3 games. Let's throw Kel'el Ware. That gives us 41 for that last spot. Then maybe we just throw KD in there. And we throw KD in there. Man, that's frustrating. This is a frustrating build so far. Wow, Devin Vassell's cap is higher than KD's. That's kind of crazy. At least we get KD and Giannis in there together. We'll do that one. Now, for the second one, this sucks. Would you, for your second one, would you put Jokic as your next MVP? I think the move here is to build a contender next, honestly. I think that's probably the move. You know what? Let's get into some questions, and then I'll cry about this later. Let's get into questions because I'm sure people are starting to get pissed. But you're right. You're right. I don't think anybody is going to like their lineups.
No.
All right, chat. You can start firing in your questions. Starting now. We'll get into it. We'll do our best to answer. Let's see what my best contender would be based on this. PJ, Fred VanVleet. All right, so it does like Kel'el Ware. All right. Gross stuff. Bring on base. Are you dabbling in baseball?
I did play it last year in the summer, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then the update, I haven't read too much into it, but as far as I'm aware, all of my old season cards are pretty much useless.
Yeah.
So that doesn't fill me with excitement to go and
You got to
play it
use
this
the
season.
energy or whatever it is.
So I don't even know. Yeah, see, I know of energy, and I know that you can now put them in the PSA sleeves, but I don't know what the PSA sleeves do. So it's literally me not reading it. I probably will get into it because I did end up in like I was sitting there sweating the Tokyo series at 10 in the morning here. It was great fun. So I do enjoy the baseball when it comes around in the summertime. But right now it's just like, why would I want to go and spend the money on it when I have to go and buy? Like I invested pretty decently in the rare stuff. Like I had like the Juan Soto's of the world, Glass. No, I got into it, but here I would have loved it if it was just the sort of you needed sort of some old season, some new season,
right.
And then I'd be like, yeah, sure. But having to redo it all again was a bit like,
Yeah, that's frustrating. That is frustrating. Yeah, this is going to be campaign, especially with Deuce getting ruled out. Campaign projects a lot higher than Rollins. Rollins still a decent play though, with a cap of 13 and a projection of 21. And somebody asked about Dinwiddie. This does not have the update yet, I don't believe, of Anthony Davis. So this says he projects for 38. Let me just do that one more time. Let's see what they have for Davis. They do project Davis for 46. Let's see. They have Dinwiddie for 37.8, so maybe that did get updated. So there you go. There's your Dinwiddie projection. Let's see. I don't do you understand this question? Andrew saying best common lineup using all players, even in the ad section. Do you know what that means?
I think that's like when you can on the common champion stuff where you can play to win the essence and the boxes.
Okay.
You can add players using the common essence.
Okay.
So it's basically like what's the best lineup no matter what.
Oh, I can't show you that. I can't just show you the best lineup. That's cheating. That's cheating. I'm not allowed to do that. Those are the rules. Would you take the dart throw on Sabonis not knowing he's playing, or would you just take Porzingis because you know he's ruled in?
Sabonis is more fun. He's 35, so he's a lower cap, and he has 3 games.
Yeah, he's definitely playing at least one of those 3, and I'm with you. I do like Porzingis a lot tonight. I do think he seems to be relatively healthy. I do like that quite a bit. What do you think of Jokic, Cat, Triple J, Scampaign, and Pete? Yeah, that looks good, man. You're just hoping Jokic plays, right?
Yeah, that's essentially it. For what it's worth, I don't think he is going to play. But
you don't think he's playing on Wednesday either?
I get. Mike Malone said that he wasn't going to play Sunday, and then he wasn't going to play Monday. I feel like, granted, you can read that either way that he hasn't said it. Well, I just got a feeling they're going to play him. Or did he say that?
He said he expected him to play this week.
Oh, okay, then I'll take that back.
But so it's just one game, though. It is just one game. So let's do this, George. Let's do this. So I know you're taking Luka over Jokic, right? You're taking Giannis over Jokic?
Yes.
How about SGA?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How about, all right, after that, Paolo?
No.
Is there
anybody? That's probably it.
Yeah.
It's probably those 3 guys, and then, and I'd probably get crucified for this. I low-key think LeBron is a pretty good sort of, if you've got an MVP and if you're looking for it, 3-game LeBron, he's had a rest. He might sit that middle game, but I don't hate LeBron in that sense for it. But I think Luka, Giannis, and SGA are the clear ones just because they've all got multiple games and they're going to play every game.
I almost wish this game week was like 4 weeks ago where the games didn't matter as much for the Lakers, because I could see a world in which Luka and LeBron have the same ceiling as MVPs, because with 3 games, you're like, I bet Luka sits 1 and LeBron sits 1. But I think with Luka sitting last week, I imagine he's going to play all 3 of these. But I'm with you. I think that's fine. I think you could make a case for Tatum, too. If you don't think Jaylen Brown goes tonight, you could make a case for him over Jokic. But it's one of those things, man. If you spent that money on Jokic, you're putting him in your fucking lineup. Like, right? Like, you just gotta. If you don't have like I have a Giannis, so I'm gonna play Giannis over Jokic. But if I didn't have Giannis and it was like AD, Paolo, Towns, Tally, I'm rolling out Jokic. Give me the highest upside. Fury, I'm taking PJ over Jalen Green. Are you Are you with me on that one?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, this is crazy, but I understand it because PJ projects so well. Or because Cade Cunningham, do they only have one game this game week? Cade has one game. PJ has 3. Who are you taking?
I would still take PJ. I think there. I really would.
If we're doing PJ over Cade, we're playing the drop. We got it. We're just legally required.
PJ Washington. PJ Washington. PJ Washington.
Here we go. Let's see what else we have. I like my lineup with Luca, Turner, PJ Franz, and Vooch. Yeah, that's good. That's Tristan, not Nicola. Do you prefer Peyton Watson or campaign? So we mentioned the Denver could be thinned out a little bit, but are we going Cam or Peyton?
I think campaign, but it's just I hate going for campaign. It's one of them ones for it. It's like I hate to do it, but I'm gonna. It's Andre Drummond. It's when I have to play Andre Drummond. It's that sort of vibe is all I can describe.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you got to go Payne. You could talk me into it if Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon, if we knew before lock that they both got ruled out and we're knowing Peyton Watson's playing 35 minutes, you could do it. I'm assuming, is this Mitchell Robinson or Svi? Let's see, or is it Orlando? Or Duncan. Let's see, what's Svi here? It's got to be Svi or Mitchell. So Svi projects for 0. So whoever Robinson is, I'd take him. That's what I would do. Let's see. Your opinion. Oh yeah, Borland. Yeah, Saratoga Water and Bananas projecting through the roof. Is that all over your timeline too?
Oh my God, is it all over my timeline? It's everywhere. Yeah. I think the original clip is now like 758 million views, which is just ridiculous. So I hope that man, I think his name's Ashton. I hope he got an affiliate link for Saratoga Water. But oh my God, that's the most viral thing I've seen in a long time.
It's crazy. It is crazy. You taking Gooner, Cat, or KD? I'm telling you right now, Cat is the one that projects the best with 53, as KD is 42, and Sengun is 49. Sengun the closest to Cat, but are you team Cat?
I would do that order in reverse. Is how I would do it. That would be what I would go with. The order that he's laid out.
Oh, you want KD first?
Give me
Cat?
KD first. Yeah, give me KD first. Yeah.
That's spicy. 10-point difference in projection. George knows ball, though.
Or I really don't.
How are you feeling about that James Harden injury? I mean, the problem is they only have one game and his cap is 51, right? Like it's tough to get there, right?
Yeah, I just sort of just leave it.
Yeah, I think you can find better options. That cap is a little too tricky. All right, let's see what else we got. We've got. Oh wait, Sabonis. This is Sabonis stuff. Sabonis family will donate $2,500 for every rebound that he grabs at every home game. Thoughts on? Okay. He'll play in the homestand. He said 5 games. Okay, but there are only 3 of those are this weekend, right? Or are we in the back half of the homestand? I don't know. All right, Phil is asking about Boner, Siakam, or Franz. Franz is by far the best projected one here, but we did have some fun, spicy P takes. Do you have a lean of these 3 here?
Yeah, again, it's probably the order. I would do the reverse in the way that he's done it. Is probably where I'd go.
You also are saving some cap, I believe, with Franz there.
Yeah.
So I like that. Sean's asked about Mogbo, Payne, DeAndre, Dinwiddie, SGA, and contender. You got SGA and contender. Holy hell. All right. Downton's going to project great, man. He's going to be one of the higher guys. He projects for 33. So any 76er that's playing tonight, you can play. All right. Sorare
if they have a card.
Yeah, right. Sorare NBA squad in the chat was saying Luka as your MVP, help with the other 4 spots. We've got Dinwiddie, Franz, FVV, Fred VanVleet, Miles Turner. Hardy. Are you saying pick one of these 2? All right. So his other 4, are you doing Spencer, Franz, Fred VanVleet, Turner, or Jaden Hardy, Donovan Mitchell, Franz, and Cat. So Franz is in there no matter what. So let me do that one more time. Just 3v3. Dinwiddie, Fred VanVleet, Miles Turner, or Jaden Hardy party, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns.
It's probably that one, but Jaden Hardy sucks. So it's probably that one, and you just have to hope to God that Jaden Hardy's first 2 shots fall. Otherwise, it's not looking good. But yeah,
I think you do it because if you get ceiling games from Cat and Donovan, you really just need to get to like 22 from Hardy, and you're home free.
100%, yeah.
You know, but I'm with you because Jaden Hardy, like, good luck figuring it out, man.
Yeah.
All right, 13 or under. Let's see. No Josh Giddey jokes, please. Let's see.
That's got to be campaign? Yeah.
Okiki. Oh no. Let's do it by projection. Yeah, campaign, Mogbo, your guy DeAndre Jordan, Okiki, Kai Jones. I will say, just to talk about DeAndre here, I do think it is a fun play. I will say, just be comfortable getting a 0 out of it. Like, you know what I mean? There's some real upside, but it's not like some of the, like, campaign. If you play him, what's his cap? His cap is 12. His floor is like 16.
Yeah.
But he could get you 40. DeAndre Jordan could get you 0. He can.
He's also 36 and coming off a back-to-back where he played 39 minutes. So you're just, because he's only playing one of these. If we're expecting Jokic to play in that game against the Bucks, which is probably going to happen now, he's only playing against the Bulls. So that's just, you've got one game pretty much with DeAndre.
Let me check something very quickly here on that Denver-Houston game last night. So if you want to get real big brain, Zeke Naji only played 12 minutes. So if there was ever a time for Zeke to play big minutes, it's the day after DeAndre played more minutes than his age. Barely. All right, let's see. Jeff Downton and Ricky Council, or Payne and Keyshawn. So, yeah, what's Council at? Council projects for... Oh, is Council ruled out? Oh, wait, hold on. So Council projects for 27. We said Downton is 33. What's that? 60. And your other one was Payne. Who was it? Payne and George. So Payne, we said, is 28. And George is 30. So that's pretty close. So projections are basically a coin flip. Do you have a strong take of playing 2 Sixers or Payne and George?
I'd probably lean Payne and George, just because, again, you've got that, not guaranteed, but you have a floor from them. And that's where I would just lean on that one,
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier. I think we both would take PJ over Sabonis, right? Even though it's like, I get it, but I think we would. Colin Gillespie, dude, or DeAndre Jordan. This is kind of like the conversation we were just having. If you want to make sure you get 15 so rare points for your underdog lineup, play Colin Gillespie. If you want to try to get 40 so rare fantasy points, DeAndre Jordan, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Let's see. Hart or Denny? Man, Denny's on a freaking heater, huh?
I have been a Denny Advia fan for so long. I think he's so good, and the fact that, like, it's almost in, again, there is such a thing at the minute on the NBA teams of players that just don't care when they're at the bottom, sort of, or when they're in those teams, and he just doesn't do that. He kind of goes out every night, even against the Celtics. Like, he wasn't amazing, but he was still good and like their go-to guy trying to push the ball up the court. So I would always root for a Denny Advia, always.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, yeah, Sean, we said, holy shit, SGA's in your contender. It's a good lineup, man. You're fine. Rank them: Booker, Hero, Mobley. Those are 3 guys we haven't really talked about. So Book projects for 47, but man, he's been disappointing. Hero projects for 48. Mobley projects for 44. I've been like Team Tyler Hero this season from a fantasy perspective, even though they've been dog shit as a basketball team. Do you have I know Booker in a pretty good matchup against Milwaukee. Do you have a lean over there?
What was Evan Mobley's stat line the last game? Does anyone actually know? If he had a great game, then fade him. If he was really bad, then you absolutely take him. He doesn't have 2 good games in a row, and he doesn't have 2 bad games in a row. So that's where I would lead. So if we can just see that with Evan Mobley, probably at the top there. But yeah, I'd agree. Hero would probably be next, and then Devin Booker.
So Mobley only played a handful of minutes against the Jazz, I believe, because they won by 30. Played 21 minutes, had 11 points, 11 boards, and 3 blocks.
Yeah, so this is where he has the big game. So this is where you go for the Evan
All
Mobley.
right, there you have it. There you have it. We got Ibrahim was asking about Tyler Kolek. He's going to cap a 2 with a projection of 12, a dozen for the Kolek. And then Ryan Rollins, we mentioned earlier, Matu, he's got a cap of 13, and he projects for 21, I believe I said, right? Yeah, 21.2 there for your guy, Ryan Rollins. All right, Mike Weisberg says, George, Sorare NBA squad, or yourself in a game to 21, who wins?
I'm gonna put I think Mike wins because he plays in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. You're tall though. I feel like you could do some bodying down low, could create some problems.
Agreed, but there's going to be a time, Mike, where you pull that chair away and I fall back, and then it's curtains for me. I'll have picked up an injury, something will happen, and then you're just going to get to the free throw line every time. There's not much I can do about it.
It's great. That's great. Kelly Oubre is in fact confirmed out for tonight. Yabusele, I think, is in, actually. I don't even think he has a questionable tag. Hold on one second on that. Yabusele is ruled in at the moment. No Q tag or anything like that. Best 22 and under. You little sneakers. I feel like we did this one. It's going to be a lot of the same guys that we've talked about so far. That's 33. You're going to see here, based on projection, Justin Edwards, who doesn't have a card, so that's useless. Wendell Carter Jr., by the way, sneaky, playing like decent fantasy ball lately for the Magic. Little WCJ, cap of 22, the projection of 36. Then a pair of Sixers with Downton and Jared Butler. You got Jose Alvarado next up, then Jordan Hawkins, then Kyle Kuzma. Good fucking luck. Scoot Henderson, Vucevic, Ryan Dunn. His caps come up a little bit, so not as fun. And then you got Max Christie, who you shouted out a little bit earlier, Adem Bona, who returns to the Sixers, and then Campaign and Bucelis. So there's some for you. What else we got? All right, this is for you. Can you rank them? We got Chet. I'm telling you right now, Nikola Vucevic finishes third, and then Jaren Jackson Jr.
What's this? Are we ranking them on the likeliness that they're not going to play? The likeliness that they say they're going to play and then decide they don't want to play 10 minutes before tip. I think on fantasy stuff, it would probably be Triple J, Chet, and Vooch is where I'd go.
I'm with you. Me personally, I'm not touching Marcus Smart here or any wizard not named Sar, George, Vucevic. Do you have any love for any other wizards, or is that it?
I have a Marcus Smart Super Air in a Super Air contender lineup that I'll be amazed gets over 100 points. So that's where I'm standing on Marcus Smart. He did have a good game. I think he had his best game of the season against the Knicks, which doesn't say much because it's not memorable at all. But I just looked, and yes, that is his highest. He got 35 against the Knicks. So 19 in a contender lineup. If you're playing a Super Air. If you're playing in a Super Air where no one's going to play Marcus Smart, then yeah.
There you go. You're unique, baby. Contrarian. You do have Jimmy Butler versus Miami. I heard Steph Curry's trying to get back for that game. Tygo said you won an Amen tier 1. There you go. And Alan, you know what? Fuck off, dude. We just did 22 and under. You're going to hit me with a 24 and under. I will do it, but later, bro. Later. I'm not doing it right now. We just did that sort. Same thing for you, Daniel. 26 and under. Too close, brother. Too close. LeBron or Harden for MVP? We talked about this a little bit. We can't play Harden, right? It's LeBron.
No, we can't play Harden. No.
Yeah. Kessler, Edwards, or Chris Dunn? I'm so sorry. Oh, no, or Kuzma. It's just Kuzma. It's Kuzma Bichetti. I hate Kuzma, but it is. That's who you play. Cat and Peyton Watson or Franz and Alvarado? I think this might be Franz and Alvarado just because I don't really trust Peyton Watson. Do you have a take there?
Yeah, it's Franz and Alvarado. I can again, as much as I don't think Alvarado's an amazing play, he should get far above his cap, is what I'll say, because of the minutes that he'll get.
I'm gonna. George, do you mind cooking here solo? Do you have a take that you can fire off while I go blow my nose here real quick? Do you mind?
Absolutely. Go powder your nose, Mrs. Zakarian.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I removed the wrong person. There we go.
That it would have been difficult for him to have removed me from the stream. Let me get the chat up. How are we going right now? You know what? Let's chat a little bit on the Sorare stuff for it. What do you want to see for the upcoming sort of playoff stuff of where we're going to be going in? I want to see something that is a nice blend between like full in season, but then also in season and classic. I think they did a really nice hybrid of it last time, where we had that use of new season cards and old season cards. I really don't want them to alienate the old season cards completely from the playoffs. That's my one thing that I want to see. And then obviously we've got daily games this year, so I'd like to see some form of new and old season, like they've kind of got with the daily pickup and the live stuff that we've got now. I'd love to see that, but let me know what you've got in the comments down below. Pete Bowl this season was better than Pete Wemby. Hey, I mean, do you know what, Super Carl? I hear no lies there. I hear absolutely no lies whatsoever for it. Fire in some of the chat stuff as well if you want to know any particular stuff around why Mike Zakari, doesn't have that wet jumper that he claims he does online. But other than that.
Oh, did we drop the mixtape today?
All right, you're back.
We dropped the mixtape today. Come on. I was trying a different marketing campaign. It didn't work. Let's actually talk about this for a second. What are since I feel like we've gotten most of the questions except for Alan being like, what about a cap of 21? I mean 22, I mean 23. What do you think of, I'm going to just share the giveaway here just so people remind here. What are your like hopes and dreams for playoff contests?
Not what they've done with baseball. I think if you're going to alienate an entire game mode right before the end of the season, that's what you do. I think you need to make sure that I would like to see a full in-season mode and then a in-season / classic mode. Okay. I think that would make the most sense. And they haven't done a single chase style this year, if I'm right.
Yeah.
They do it like even in the playoff, the
in-season was all like daily, right? It was like
daily. It was daily stuff, and which I can't understand because last year when they done the sort of, it was your 6 best lineups from 8 weeks or whatever it was, everybody loved that. And then they've just gone, we're not going to do it again. So then if you do it during the playoffs, it's still good, but then you alienate a lot of people because then obviously the amount of cards that you can play reduces every single round. So right. I think maybe that's a daily thing or something that they do with it, but for the love of God, I hope they don't make it full in season because you're going to alienate so many people, I think, from that.
I wouldn't mind if you're right, because especially when we get deeper into the playoffs and we're down to a couple of teams, I would like that. I don't think they're going to be doing a chase. This is what I pitched during All-Star Game weekend. This is what I pitched to the So Rare Powers. I think they should kind of have 2 contests. One that is almost like a survivor contest, whether it's you finish in like the top X% of the game week, or you have to reach a certain threshold. And if you do, you move on to the next game week. Now, whether that's like a normal game week or it's like the first round of the playoffs. And then they should continue to do that. So like that the pool shrinks from round to round or from game week to game week. But to your point, they also have to have something else going on. Like that can't be the only thing because you don't want 5% of your user base participating when we get to the NBA finals. So whether that's making it a cool daily thing, whether it's more of a classic thing, they kind of have to have a couple of things going at the same time, I think.
Yeah, 100%. It's just that balance. And it's like, again, I think it's the thing I've said every time. Obviously, in season needs to be in there. It has to be there for it to be sustainable. But it's finding the balance of keeping the classic cards just alive at this point is what I'll say. Because if you go and look at floor values, and I know we're in the back end of the season, but they're in the bin for some of the guys that shouldn't be there. And if you can find a way to bump them up, just in general for which benefits absolutely everybody, it's a no-brainer sort of play. So I would love to see a full in-season mode and then a hybrid between a
Yep.
in-season and a classic mode.
I'm with you. And I think like one of the things they did with baseball, I do think could help the classic contest or the classic cards in NBA in the future. Like I like that idea. If you're playing a lot and you're building up energy or essence or Viagra or whatever.
So can you explain that to me? I don't even know what it is.
I'm probably the wrong person to explain it. And I know there's going to be somebody with glasses on in the chat. Be like, well, actually, if you apply 92% of you, my understanding is if you earn enough energy or whatever the fuck we're calling it, if you earn enough, you can apply it to a classic card to then use it in an in-season tournament.
Right. Okay. And you get the energy by playing the classic season like games. Is that what it is?
I think, or like by buying stuff or by winning like boxes or whatever. That is my understanding. And yeah, Jacob, I apologize to all glasses wearers. Okay. That was not fair. And yeah, they did try the threshold thing. And I'll be honest, like I'm a fan of them trying out new shit. I do kind of agree it's tough when you try it out at the very beginning of the season when you're trying to build hype and then you have to explain like a brand. I get that it's probably a little overwhelming, but I do. I hope we see some sort of rollout next week that explains what the playoffs are going to look like. And I hope there's a couple of different mechanics to it. But yeah, anyways, my understanding is that is how like the energy or whatever works. So if you had a Giannis Classic, you could fire it into in season if you had enough.
Yeah, I'll absolutely as well. I'll beat the drum about trying to move people up tiers through mixed levels of scarcities. Like I'd love to see that in the daily stuff of like a limited and a rare and a super rare. I think it just encourages people to sort of, if you're only playing limited, to move into rare. If you're only playing rare, to move into super rare. Because there isn't really much.
Right.
I will say in the rare streets there is no reason for people to get into super rare, is what I'd say at the minute.
I mean, I was going to, and it was too pricey. And then I was like, I'm just going to stay with rare. And I have no regrets. Although I think I had a couple of like top 5 finishes this year in champion, but no podiums. So I'm probably down money on the year, but having fun with it. Here's another one. Can I throw another idea? What if we're doing this energy shit? What if there was some sort of like cumulative, because the daily contest is like really fun in theory, but the prizes kind of suck. So like if you finish second, enjoy your 3x rare capsules or whatever the hell you're going to get, right? What if you started doing like similar to this energy thing, right? If there's some sort of cumulative leaderboard for the daily contests, and if you achieve X amount of whatever, you can then apply, and like based on how much you achieve, that equals like a certain cap level. So say you get to like 35, we'll just call it 35. You can take any card that you have that is a classic, and you can make it in season. Like
for like one game week.
No,
forever.
Good. Yeah, for good.
I mean, I don't hate that. I don't know how they'd feel. I don't think the logistics of that make sense to them. But that would be great. The one thing I've always wanted from the boxes, just because again, like I was so excited, and don't get me wrong, I still like it. I've got a ripper. I've got 350 rare essence now, so I'm going to rip a tier 2. I've got another 500 save for a limited, so I'll rip that again. And they're fun doing it, and the boxes that come from it. What I can't understand is when they've done the promos where like if you buy something, you win a reward box, and in that reward box you can win cards.
Yeah.
Just give us in the boxes that you can win, even if it's in the 3 stars and above, a slim chance of winning that card that you can do in the soccer side and that, because it means that then when you're actually opening the 15 that you get a week, you might get something that is like, oh shit, this was 100% worth it, and this was so much fun, and it come out of nowhere, as opposed to, oh wow, it's 5 and not 1 essence this time.
I like that, especially at the back end of the year, right? When you have they know now that they're probably not going to sell their complete level of like
they're 100
supply,
or 1,000
right? Yeah,
allocations,
right.
Yeah.
So why not like, and that builds a little bit more excitement here. While like the NBA is gross and prices go down, rightfully so, because we're at the end of the year, right? Just like sneak in some cards.
Did you see what they done on the football side on Thursday just gone? So,
No.
and I assume this is also because of being able. They're worried about people holding their essence for like next season.
Yeah.
They did a thing where crafting was half price.
Love it.
So a 500 essence was only 250. So it made me rip all of my essence. And I ended up pulling a few things on it. But just little things that aren't always related to like going and buying a Cavs player or a rookie or whatever it is. Just a few other things. And don't get me wrong, I completely agree with you. It's probably like juggling with no hands over there at the minute in terms of the baseball and the NBA. But, you know, there's got to be some form of just a little bit of an oomph that isn't a different competition on the daily.
Yeah, I'm with you. If Fury in the chat too is saying, what about you exchange your classic card for an in-season version of it and you pay some percentage of it? I don't think they would go whole hog that way, but I do like the idea of like you can trade in your classic card for like essence that you could then turn around and craft and then hopefully get something. I mean, you're definitely running the gamble there. I don't think they would straight up being like, all right, you turn in your Giannis year 3 and we'll give you 20% of the cost of year 4. I don't see them doing that, but the idea of an essence thing is kind of cool.
Yeah, and again, I saw someone. I'm pretty confident as well, Super Carl. You can't keep essence for next season, but like again, for me right now, and this is just me speaking, I've managed to go through the rare cycle, the limited cycle, the super rare cycle. I've played at least one champion and contender lineup. Sabonis is ruled in, so he's playing this week. I've played all of them. The super rare one, I'm at like 61 essence, so I'm 14 away from being able to craft the minimum. If it gets to the end of the season where I've played every competition and can't even craft the very minimum thing and then lose it, there isn't really an advert for me to be like, do you know what? That was really fun this year. I'm going to do it again. Well, and if I'm in that situation, there's probably a few other people that are in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a similar spot right there where I have 45 super rare essence, and I don't play super rare. So that's just from winning rare boxes.
What's more mental? I have 16 more than you, and I play super rare.
Hey, listen, man, I'm deep in the rare streets, man.
Yeah.
I shout out our guy John over at So Rare. I remember messaging it the first time I won 20 super rare essence, and he was like, did we fuck up? And then he was like, oh no, there is a chance you can win super rare essence.
But ultimately, and again, it's a great idea from it, but ultimately, if the season comes and neither of us have got 75, there should be like an exchange. Right. I can get rid of 60 super rare essence for 200 rare or whatever it is, because there are going to be people like you that don't play super rare that means like it was winning a box and you got the best thing from it and it's actually worse. So it's like
right, because they're like, oh, whoa, what you could do is spend $2,000 and then build a contender lineup to try to win more essence.
Yeah. And I think ultimately it would make sense for them as well to do a half price thing. Because then if you pull your first super rare, you then need to buy 2 more class in season ones, and then you can start playing the tournament. So like it just does make sense in that sense. But
and I just want to say, too, this is we got Sabonis in BT Dub. Sabonis is in. We've got Anthony Davis a minutes limit. We don't know how much. Rui Hashimura returns. LeBron is available, which we kind of already knew. And then Ant-Man is a game time decision. So that's what we are still waiting for tonight. But just to be clear, though, like still super positive on like the evolution of how some of the rewards are for. Like, I think it's cool. And they want us to try to level up like you were mentioning, right? That's their goal, is that we buy more cards to go to the next level. And so I like the idea of being like, hey, if you play rare, you actually have a shot at winning some super rare essence. I think in theory that works quite a bit. However, I don't know if they thought through like the full thing to be like, well, okay, but 70 is a lot. So you got to do this a couple of times.
Yeah, I think, and again, this is what we've got the summer stuff to talk about. But like, if we're going into it, I think that when you've now been able to play in multiple champions and multiple contenders this year, I feel like Underdog has been where it was really, really fun. And we was like, we want it back. It's just not a thing now because you can play all of these different Underdog Smash plays in 6 different lineups, essentially.
Right. It was fun because you could only do 2 other lineups prior to that. So you're like, oh, 100%. Thank God, a third lineup.
I think that Underdog sense of where those cards would go, I think that makes so much sense for the sort of hybrid stuff of being like 4 rares, 1 super rare, 3 rares, 2 super rares. Just because then, if you're wanting to push people into that realm of giving them super rare essence, like if you pull 75 and you get a random tier 4 that has got a cap of 8 and plays every now and then, that's not going to make you go and buy 2 more super or 4 more.
No, I'm going to sell it so I can buy more.
You're going to sell it. If you've got an option to then play him and you need to buy 1, and then you can play it with your other rare cards, there's a bit more of an inclination that you're more inclined to go and do that, I feel, than what it is. But hey, it's just we've only been saying it for 2 years. So.
I know, and like, listen, I've been so pro. Like, what happened?
Anthony Davis limited to 28 minutes tonight.
Oh, hey, 28. You can play Anthony Davis for not on So Rare. You can't.
Not on 52, and I doubt that means so he'll play against the Nets. He won't play against the Knicks, and then against the Magic, it's not really great for bigs anyway. So he's probably not. But I think he's at a 52 cap, so those 3 games will bring him down. There's going to be a game week before the end of the playoffs, for the end of the regular season, where Anthony Davis is going to be in a lineup 100%.
Well, I mean, the nice news, like, hopefully he plays all 3 games and plays like 24 to 28 minutes, and then you just hope his cap comes down to in the 40s, and then bang, bang, let's go.
Bang.
I just one more final button there on it. I will say, like, listen, I thrive off negative content sometimes, like shout out NBA Top Shot. I honestly have had a great time with Sorare NBA this season, and hashtag ad, hashtag promo. I do think this is the time of the year where it sucks the most, and I think that
agree 100%.
Yeah. Wait, did I just repeat what you said about the cap of 40? Did I just repeat that word for word, George? My bad.
I don't think you did. You probably just said something a little bit similar, but you know what? It's fine if you did. We've been talking to ourselves for an hour and 10 minutes. You know what, Tygo? There are going to be mistakes that are made, Tygo. Okay, this is the nature of the beast with a live before lock. So,
yeah. But seriously, I feel like they've done a pretty good job of evolving from year 2 to year 3 specifically, because we had spent many an hour talking about last season being ready to bring out the pitchforks, and I don't think we have seen this year has been a lot of fun, but we are at the time where it does prices go down, the games suck themselves. You're just again playing the Malachi Flynn's of the world to try to get by. So I'm excited for the playoff rollout. Hopefully we get some good news with that in the next week or 2, and then we can complain about our gallery prices all off season long. Also, I think you should be able to trade within sport. Can you do that yet? Multi-sport trades?
I think they were going to do it, and then they said they were going to do it, and then they didn't do it. So
I want to trade basketball for I want to play baseball, and I don't want to spend a ton of money right now. All right, so let's see. We got the AD minutes restriction. I don't know. I think we're up to speed here. I still got to build some of my lineups. This is what we're going to do right now. We are going to also, Borland, agree with this. Market creds should work across sports too. Totally agree.
Yeah, and the issue with market creds as well is I think that they're really good in practice, but all they do is hammer the secondary market even more than it already was. Because when people have got 50% off to buy the new one, they either want to pay 50% less for the old one, and it just creates such a disparity that it actually creates more of an issue, I think, than it solves. But yeah.
And it only creates an issue for us. It does not create an issue for
no. But ultimately, if it creates an issue for us in the long term, it will create an issue for them because
yes.
But, yeah.
Yes, of course. Man of the people, George St. Ledger. All right, last call. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel, but hashtag gross. We're not leaving yet, but we are going to do the first rare tier card. So you're going to put that in the chat. I am going to drop a link into the chat here for members. If you would like to become a member, we are at 95 strong right now, which means 5 away from 100. We should be at 100. If you join, that's going to get you access, obviously, to the second rare tier card giveaways we do on Mondays and Fridays for Live Before Lock. We'll also, I'm pretty excited about this. We're dabbling in the baseball streets, and we've joked about Zakarian math for projections in NBA all the time. We're going to be doing some Zakarian math for baseball this year. And that'll be a members only thing to dabble in there. I don't think we're going to go full Live Before Lock because it's a little bit trickier for the baseball side of things. but we will have 2 videos a week. We got one with Mr. Lairdino, Andrew Laird, here on Wednesday. Mr. Solo content creator, Andrew Lairdino, huh? Love to see
I'll
it.
tell you what, I'm for. If are you guys going to do that as a regular thing, or is that just a bit of a one-off?
I'm going to bug him like at least once a month to do it. Just because it's him or Hunter, I think, that are talking baseball.
I will absolutely be down for some of this for the MLB stuff. Because, like I said, I didn't love it. I need to get into it, but I did really enjoy playing the baseball last year. So I know myself, and I know, like, even now, I'm like, no, I'm not. No, you've annoyed me with the no in season. I will be there. But
I know. I caught the bug right away. I do like this little triple play thing they're doing right now, where you buy a card, maybe you win a card. Yeah, the weatherman projections are really the only thing that I feel confident on. All right, I'm dropping this link right now. If you'd like to join, go ahead and join. Let's get us over a hundo. Once we spin this giveaway, the stream is not ending, but I am switching the chat to members only. So you'll still be able to see and hear everything that's going on. Only members will be able to comment in the chat. Here we go. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Who's it going to be here? Let's see. We got Ryan Wilkinson. Let's go. George, what footy jersey is this right here?
that looks like I can actually say I think that's Naby Keita in a Liverpool jersey.
Ooh, okay. That's a Liverpool like special kit.
It looks like a third kit is what I'll say. Ryan will probably confirm. But from what I can see, and it is small on my screen, that looks like Naby Keita in a Liverpool jersey.
Were you impressed that I said kit?
You did say kit, so that is impressive to me right there, Mike. You know what I mean? We're, like I said, evolution is the way of this that we've been going right now. So
I said footy and I said kit. Also, shout out Ryan to saying rigged. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do one more. We're not gonna do the giveaway yet. We're still gonna hang for like another 20 minutes or so, unless you have to go, George. Then obviously you can.
No, I'm just in that mild state of panic every single lock where I'm like, I haven't built a single team yet, and I need to build 35. So
we should be at members only now. And in honor of George, you just put #George into the chat. What is your toughest decision this week for your, like, are you doing, have you built your super rare lineups yet? Because you could share.
Mike, the super rare lineups are like the first thing I do because it's pretty much the same team every week of what I put out there on them. So there's no real sweat on the super rare stuff. It's more the like in-season limiteds where I'm like, where do I actually want to play the cards that I have for this? But the current state of depression is that in my priority one lineup for in-season limited, I have DeAndre Jordan in it, which has me questioning everything because I'm playing DeAndre Jordan in it. It's Jokic, Doncic, Franz Wagner, Jose Alvarado, DeAndre Jordan. That's where I'm at the minute.
Okay. I just made like a big trade where, because I'm just getting rid of my limited cards. So I just gave away like 10 limited cards for a DeAndre Jordan rare. So I'm ready to roll on the DeAndre Jordan train.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to tweet this out here. Let's see. We're going to be I just want to remind the people of our Splash Sports contest. I'm going to drop that link into the chat. We're up over 50 entrants into that bad boy now. I think I got my money back last night where I was a dummy. I get too excited about my plays yesterday. I saw Cade Cunningham got ruled out, and I saw Zion and Yves Missy got ruled out. And I was like, hell yeah, that means Dennis Schroeder and Kelly Olynyk are going to cook. And they did fine, but Andrew Wiggins then dropped like 70 points or whatever it was, and he was sad in the same tier as some of those guys. So that was a devastating blow. But I believe we're up to 50 right now. Let's go see what's going on Splash. I haven't built my squad yet. Here we go, 50. I don't think I can build it on desktop yet. Let's see. Oh, we can. They updated it. Hell yeah. All right. Let's build one here while we're in mode. So I think what's so interesting about this, have you ever played a tiered contest, George?
A tiered contest? No.
So basically what this is it's we have 6 tiers. You pick one player from each tier. Now, the issue you run into with this sometimes is like, especially tonight. I mean, luckily we have Luka up there tonight too. Ownership doesn't get too bottled down. But like a lot of times you're gonna be like, oh, this is clearly the best guy in this range. So then everybody clicks that guy. So there's like real leverage to be gained if you can go off the board a little bit. But to me, I think it's hard to pick like a giddy on over ahead of these guys, ahead of Giannis, Luka, Tatum, and LeBron. Should we, because we're trying to be unique here, just pick Tatum here, just to be different?
Be different.
Let's pick.
Do it.
Let's pick Tatum. Tatum, welcome aboard. All right, tier 2, we have Vucci Main, Nikola Vucevic. We got Franz Wagner. You got Jamal Murray in that matchup with no Jokic. You got Tyrese Halliburton. And then it's like Russ and MPJ, Kobe White, Monk, Derek White, Spicy P. All right, so for me, I narrow this down almost immediately to Jamal Murray, Halliburton, and Siakam. Maybe a little Kobe White, but I'm going to narrow it to Murray, Halley, and Siakam. Would you? And I feel like you're going to say Murray or Siakam, but who would be your pick here in this range?
I'd actually, it's either Halliburton or Siakam is where I'd
go. Or not even putting Jamal in there.
No, I wouldn't put Jamal in there. He had an unbelievable game against the Bulls, but I don't know. I wouldn't put Jamal in there. I'd put Derek White over Jamal Murray. There's
wow.
One for you there.
Wow. All right. Is Halliburton is at home against the Wolves, right? Is he getting the McDaniels assignment, or does McDaniels getting Siakam, you think? Probably Siakam.
Yeah, probably Siakam.
All right, we'll do Halliburton at home. All right, CJ's already ruled out. RJ's ruled out. Aaron Gordon, game time decision. This range sucks. I guess it's Randall, Austin Reeves. I don't
for tonight only.
Yeah, just tonight. This is just
right.
tonight. I don't like Najee Marshall as much with AD back. I just like Najee really has to play 55 minutes in order to get there. Valanciunas and Sabonis is in, so you can't play JV. I think that hurts DeRozan too. So I think for me, if you think Gordon plays, he's in play. Gordon, Randall, Austin Reeves, or Turner. Who's your favorite of those four?
I would go. I'd probably go. Even though I don't really like him on Sorare, I'd go for Austin Reeves. I think out of
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, this is tough. And then we got Nick Claxton, Kevin Huerter, Alec. So, all right, I'm just going to narrow this down. You could make a case for Yabusele because he's going to play a bunch. Kelly Olynyk, but I would like it more if Yves Missy is out. I feel like this is Alex Sarr. I'm just going to click it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you pick. I'll let you pick tier 5, though. We got Grand Theft Alvarado. We got one of the 76ers. Tristan Vucevic. Look at Tristan. Jordan Poole is in tier 5. The disrespect.
The disrespect is key, but I think Jordan Poole's understood the assignment and he's actually a sleeper agent to make sure that the Wizards lose games at the minute. So I would go for. I think I would go either Jaden McDaniels or Jose Alvarado is where I would go.
I think I'm going Alvarado in this one. I think Downton is interesting too. And then last but not least, let's go. This is one of the Sixers. It's one of the. I'm just going to narrow it down, or just no one. Yeah, it is still one of the Sixers. You have Luke Cornett. Look at fucking Luke, and then it's Butler, Council, or Justin Edwards. Now we know Justin Edwards, one of the higher projected guys.
So I just laugh the fact that Dante DiVincenzo's in here. He was so good on that Knicks team last year, and now he's next to Justin Edwards.
I know the disrespect.
It's Justin Edwards. I think is the play here. Is where I'd go.
I think so too. All right, Justin Edwards. That's gonna be at least one of mine here. I'll share the link one more time just in case you want to join. Let's see. What are we at? 50? Are we still at 50 entrants? We do a quick refresh. We're still at 50. I'll share the link one more time. What happened to the Underdog account? No, listen, man, Sean, I would love to continue to do Underdog, but it's not available in New York. Can't do it. Do you have stuff like that, George? Do you have like weird rules where like certain
No.
You could just bet on everything?
Yeah, I mean, I found out as well that obviously with March Madness on, that some states can't bet on their own college team.
That's me. Yeah, couldn't bet on St. John's in New York.
So, and that's just, and it was like, because, hey, you can't bet on them because you might know something that affects them. But I'm like, but why would he then bet on them? Because he's betting on his own team to win. He's not betting on them to lose.
It's
Like, it's one of them.
I love that they're like, hey, listen, you can bet on college sports just as long as that college isn't in your state. Like, we're fine if you bet on children, just not all of the children.
Yeah, the children's basketball betting regulations are very strange. We don't really have, like, you have this like Splash Sports and Underdog, and they look great when you do them. We don't really have anything like that.
Just straight betting, right?
Yeah, there are some fantasy sports on like Bet365, but they're very, very like small in comparison. Like the Underdog stuff looks sick, and when it comes around to like NFL season and you have season-long drafts, it looks amazing. And we have nothing like it because it's so alien to people in the UK to do that sort of thing.
I'm telling you right now, I will be spending some time in New Jersey and Massachusetts this summer to draft the NFL best ball stuff.
But how does that work? Because you don't live there. So is it like you can go there and make an account and say you live in New York?
Well, yeah, you could still, I'm allowed to have the account in New York. I'm just not allowed to enter any contest. So I literally could go to New Jersey, enter the contest, and come back, and that's fine.
There are cafes on like state lines, right? That you can go to, and then people are literally designed, they don't advertise it in that way, but they're known to go there just so you're in the state line, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's designed specifically for that, but like usually, like when you travel, when you get to a new state, there's some sort of like rest area or whatever that has like food and gas and stuff like that. And so
is this where there's like the Buc-ee's that has like 400 gas stations? Okay, right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's called Buc-ee's, but yeah.
I've just seen it's like the world's biggest gas station, and you sell like brisket, and then there's like popcorn, and then like a random thing that has like slushies in it, and you're like, right,
and like pancakes. Yeah. Those
right, nice.
Those exist. But like for best ball, they do these slow drafts, so you enter them, and then each pick can last up to like 8 or 12 hours. So what I will do this summer is I'll enter like 50 of them when I go home to see family, and then just draft them. And I can like draft when I'm in New York. You just physically can't enter the It's, again, the dumbest fucking thing.
It is, but it's beyond stupid at how it's done, but
yeah, it's so dumb. You can't, the VPN, man, you can't mess with that in New York for underdog stuff. That'll bite you. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. All right. Any sort of other so rare stuff we need to get into here? I don't think we have any other news coming in. We do have a giveaway for our VIPs where there's 24 of you right now. I don't know. Any football takes these days, George? I'll be honest. I haven't been super locked in. I know there was a lot of international stuff going on that people were rock hard for the last couple.
International break. We get domestic football back in the weekend. I'm trying to dabble a little bit in the MLS at the minute as well. Just sort of, I do it every year, and I'm like, I want to get into the MLS this year, and then it lasts about a month and a half, and I'm like, I can't do it. And then like the MLS Cup comes along, and then my head falls off because I just can't comprehend the rules of the MLS Cup. So yeah, we got football coming back on the weekend. Then you'll have the Champions League to go into it again, and then you have to run up until May. But unfortunately, my team have been very, very bad this year, so it's not that exciting. But
I went to a pub, if you will, on I think it was Thursday, the first day of March Madness. And I was like, oh, I would like to go. I always do it the first Thursday. I'll like watch some games or whatever midday. And I got there, and they put on the international games, and I was like, "You guys gotta be fucking kidding me, man!" I was like,
no one in this country watches. I mean, you do get people that will go and watch England, especially because it's a World Cup qualifier, and obviously, like for 2026 in the States, like it's important just to make it. But if it's like friendlies or Nations League, no one realistically cares. So the fact that it's on there is just bonkers.
I was next to this guy, and he was like, he showed up after me. And he was like, "Hey, can we get Spain on the big TV?" And the guy was like, The guy was like, yeah. And I was like, no, you can't.
I'll tell you what as well, though, and I will say this, and I don't know if you agree or if this is going to be a hot take. I feel like March Madness has been a bit shit in comparison to last year's March Madness.
I was proud of my take this morning. I think NIL, paying the college kids, has actually ruined March Madness, and not that they shouldn't get paid. I'm all for them getting bags, but it has made it a lot harder for these smaller schools to compete with the schools with the bigger bags.
Yeah.
And
there was no like shock round one exit like there typically always is.
A couple like 12s, 5s or whatever, but there's no exciting team that won 2 games this weekend that is like making a run for it. So yeah, it's disappointing. I'm also not the right person to ask just because I'm a Northeast kid, and so like we didn't have a lot of teams to like root for. That's why it was fun that St. John's is making attempting to make a run, because it was like one of the few Northeast teams that were competitive. But we suck at college sports in the Northeast outside of like hockey.
Right.
And nobody cares about that.
Anthony Edwards available to play.
Here we go. There you go, Borland. And Borland thought I was giving some T-Wolves hate earlier. I just think they're too deep. They have too many good guys. It's hard to play them in fantasy outside of Anthony Edwards. Kessler Edwards inactive. So that was a cheap play for some people. Can't roll him out now. And Yves Missy, a game time decision here. Yeah, there we go. Weisberg's got some late night playback here for Celtics and Kings. And yes, Borland, I do hate low vision people. Speaking of low vision, though, make sure I've got a pinned chat here. Go check out our baseball content after this, where I did some baseball research this week. I'm trying to get myself caught up.
Have you did you play Sorare baseball last year?
For like 2 game weeks, and then I was like, I can't. I think the timing is really tough because I'm still trying to stay on top of all the NBA stuff.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like resetting expectations, I'm not going to play rare. I'm just going to do limited for MLB. So it feels like lower stakes for me financially, and I can just like enjoy it. And then I'm going to try to do, instead of trying to force live before lock, which I think is a trickier thing for MLB, I'm just like committing to 2 pieces of content a week. And I think cooking up a fun thing injunction, that's probably not the right word, with Sorare for some MLB. So hopefully we get some stuff. But it is kind of tough. Like, I don't know if you found this, George, but I think there are people in my Discord that are far further along and more advanced in the baseball streets than I am. So where basketball, I feel comfortable, even though very smart people in the Discord, I feel very confident in my basketball takes because I just consume, I think, more than anybody else content-wise. Baseball, that's not the case, though. So I'm like nervous that someone's going to be like, it's pronounced Ruiz, you dickhead.
No, my one's, it's not that. The thing that got me last time was just like, oh, I really like this guy for a home run. And then it'll be like, you're a fucking idiot because this stadium is this big and the weather is going to be this. And I'm like, okay, guys, like, come on. Like, I just liked him because he's just, he's a big guy and he can sling the ball and the pitcher looks a bit rubbish. That's where I'm going on it. Like, come on.
See, that I still remember good ballparks and bad ballparks because I used to play a lot of daily fantasy baseball and I have good weather stuff. But it's more of, basketball rosters. You need to know, like, the beginning of the season, you need to know like the top 8 on every team. And then when we get to March, you need to know like the top 12 on every team. Baseball, I mean, you need to know the bullpen. You need to know the rotation. You need to know who fills in if one guy gets scratched for a couple weeks. You need to know the lineup. You need to know who's in the, like, it's a lot of information. But
it is indeed. But hey, let's just watch Moneyball and then we'll be prepared. So I think let's just do that.
Oh man, I fucking love Moneyball. I love Moneyball. How are you feeling about the beginning of the F1 season?
I thought the first, and this is really like controversial, thought the first 2 races were unbelievably shit. And everyone was like, it's amazing, it's so back. And I'm like, sorry? The first race, the first 40 laps were absolutely terrible. And then there was a safety car that changed everything, and 13 laps were quite interesting. And then Beijing, in which there was the most overtakes ever on like the prior time it was on the calendar, It was rubbish, like genuinely, and they do this every time when they change regulations. Like it will make the racing more intense, that cars can follow closer, and it just seems to be that like, oh no, they can't do that because it just ruins all their tires. So they just leave themselves a 3-second gap and don't want to overtake until the last minute. So you're like, right, that was just shit. And then obviously you had the fucking Ferrari being Ferrari. I said at the start, I was like, I just don't want Ferrari to be really rubbish that Lewis Hamilton sucks for an entire season again, and then you get like the classic Lewis Hamilton experience where qualifies on pole for the sprint, wins the sprint. You're like, oh my God, this is going to be great. And then goes into the race. They're not competitive. And then they both get disqualified because they didn't fill the cars up with enough water, whatever excuse that they're going to come out with. So, no, we go to Suzuka in 2 weeks' time and hope for a good race. But I fear it's going to be exactly the same sort of thing. Whoever gets pole.
I like that Ferrari was messing around with Ozempic, like that they lost too much weight during the race. But I think being
that
on
thing is so funny. That thing, it's the premise of like they spend tens of millions of dollars throughout the off season being like, right, we've got the most beautiful aerodynamic package that we can possibly get, and then it breaks and it gets better.
No. Listen, as long as I've been following the sport, which again, I'm still relatively new, it doesn't matter how you dress up Ferrari. They are still in clown makeup. It doesn't matter who's in charge, who's racing, who's commenting. It's the same shit every single year. They find
so
weird
sad.
ways to suck.
Because
I will say,
me, Ferrari are the pinnacle. Like they're like the top dogs, and they just year on years find a way to shoot themselves in the foot at the minute.
After 3 consecutive years of them like just killing, after Charles was like, like into the microphone, that I became a McLaren fan. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then McLaren for a little bit, but now they're good. Now they're fun. I will say, I think being on the East Coast for the first couple of Grand Prix, it's eliminated a lot of the stuff that you were talking about because the races were already over. So I was like, all right, let me watch like the first 12 laps. And I'm like, okay, let me fast forward a little bit. So I was really only seeing I wasn't like staying up for it because it was at like, I think midnight and 3 a.m. my time. So I didn't do either of those.
So when they're like that for us, so like we had 6 a.m. starts, 5 a.m. starts, I just record it. I wake up, don't look at any of my phone or laptop or anything. I just go downstairs, watch it, and then I'll look at my phone as if I'm like watching it live.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of them.
It is. I'm excited it's back though. I especially once like the summer hits and I can just, 7 a.m. start time for me is like perfect. I like my coffee before the dog needs a walk and I just like watch. That's
nice.
That's perfection for me, especially because I'm not really a football fan, and that's what would be the Premier League for me. But all right, let's see. What else we got? We got Kim Mulkey in the chat, Borland. We got some FSU and LSU. Anything else? Bodivine in the chat. Oh, Bodivine, I still owe you a rare tier card. I'm sorry, sir. I still owe you one, I think. I actually should end this now because I need to do my so rare lineups.
Yeah, I'm 10 of 32. I'm just sort of ticking along nicely is where we are for it. And he's left. I mean, hey, yeah, it was nice knowing like this is what Mike does, he's just like gonna do my lineups and then peace out. So this is how we are. This is where we're gonna run with it. I'm building lineups as we speak as well. Just one of them things. So I'm really laughing at the fact that he's just disconnected out like that. That's and rugged on the rare giveaway. Agreed, Mike Wiseback. Agreed.
Sorry.
Sorry, that was the hilarious thing. He was like, I've got to go because I've got to do my Sorare stuff. He yanks himself out.
I don't know. My camera just
and he's gone again. How does he do it? Wow. Do you know what, guys? I'd never do this to you. And this is the perfect time for me to plug my own personal channel, in which we upload about 2 times a month right now. But, we're going to get some more Sorare content on there. Go and drop me a follow. It's at Swingman Pod, as in the Swingman sort of jersey, but also the Swingman sort of forward/guard role that you get within the NBA. So Swingman Pod. Find me on YouTube. You can go and look and laugh at my Sorare videos on there. About where I save up 500 essence to get Tristan da Silva. Yes, that's right, Tristan da Silva. If you don't know who that is, it's because you shouldn't, because it shouldn't be a tier 1 card. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are for that. Mike's never coming back to this stream. And he's just left me here an hour and 39 minutes in just to, carry the back, put the stream on my back for Live Before Lock. You're welcome. There we go. How does this affect Luke Cornett? What affects Luke Cornett? Sorare NBA squad. It's a great moment in Sorare history if you're talking about Tristan da Silva here. And I'm going to be doing it again. I'm going to pull that this week. I'm going to rip the tier 1 for the limited. I'm going to rip a tier 1 for the rare. So obviously it's another reason you should go and subscribe to the Swingman Pod so you can laugh at that video when it comes out. But yeah, that's where we are with it. Oh dear. British lads talking about NBA. It's rough. It really is, Midwin. It really is. I'm still sweating over doing another 22 lineups with 19 minutes left, which is fun.
All right, I think I'm back.
He is back.
Can you guys hear me? Although now I can't see George. Is George here?
Can you hear me?
What is going on?
Okay, this is great.
What happened?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, wait, yeah, there we go.
Okay,
I
right.
had a spinning wheel of death there. I wasn't sure what happened. Man, that is bizarre, dude. Sorry about that, man.
You're right. Just put Live Full Lock on my back. Live Full Lock on my back. It's just what we do.
I want to share screen again, but that has shut my camera off the last couple of times I've done it. So this is what I'm going to tell the people right now. All right. If I can't share screen, I'm just going to end the stream. And then if you're in the Discord, I'll tell you who won. I'll take a screenshot. But I'm going to try it one more time because I really got to.
The classic rug pull is what's going on right here.
Yeah, it's going to happen. All right. I'm going to try it right now.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Oh, it's
All
worked.
Right. Man, it was apparently I had a tough connection on my camera. So I think I learned what has been bothering me the last couple of days. My camera was like a loose connection. All right, here we go. Let's do it. George, thanks for hanging out, man. It was good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good fun to always jump on.
Yeah. Let's see. Winner. We got Borland. Borland, second time VIP winner. Good to see it. Good to see it. George, anything to plug? What's going on in the Swingman world?
Like I just said, you can go and drop me a subscribe over there for the 2 videos a month that you're going to get. We'll have a podcast out soon on the sort of the realm of the NBA and how we think that it should be improved, because right now it's in a bit of a shit state, like we said every year. And I'm also going to drop the video where I rip another 500 Essence pull and tier 2 pull, so you can come and laugh at me. If I get Tristan da Silva again for that,
no.
I genuinely, if I get Tristan da Silva again, I expect Sorare to fully comp me with shares in their company, is all I'm going to say.
They should. As they should.
I think that's minimum.
I'll talk to Nico. George, thanks for hanging out. Weisberg dropped the Swingman Pod link in the chat. Go check that out. It's good to see you again, man. Open invitation anytime. For Borland and Wilkinson, I'll hit you guys up over the week and get you your rare tier card. Good luck with your lineups. We are out.